Hey guys, and welcome to part 14 of What If the Governor Met Negan the Remake. Now, in the last episode, we covered Rick, Michonne, and Daryl, well, being at the Sanctuary mainly, with the Governor at the Sanctuary, and the whole setup there in the last episode being a huge tension builder. Up until the Governor, for one thing, cut off Rick's hand, pretty much put a great sword fight against Michonne, got stabbed by Michonne, and seemingly is almost dead. But then a drone comes out of the sanctuary, and that's where we are going to resume. The drone comes out. Nobody knows what it's going to do, and it comes straight for our injured team. And the Governor, who is still almost dead, is relishing in the moment before an arrow pierces the drone, cutting it down. Well, more shooting it down, but you guys get what I mean. The Croat, who had armed the drone with knives, able to spew out of the drone straight at our group, goes out to see what has happened. But all he sees is the Governor on the ground, the drone on the ground, and no knives being thrown. And this upsets the Croat, because he didn't expect the plan to fail. He expected everything would have gone him and the Governor's way. But he doesn't have time to process this, or any of it, because just then, an army of bullets swarms towards the sanctuary, unbeknownst to the Saviors or the Croat himself. And the bullets aren't armed for the Saviors. No, they're armed for one man, and one man alone. The Croat. Every single bullet that comes that way pierces his skull, killing him instantaneously. It was Beth and several of the Alexandria residents that Negan had let go after the Governor's treachery. They all come rushing out of the woods from the left sector of the woods from the outside of the sanctuary. And they are all okay. Negan and the Saviors, they actually let them go. Now, even though Rick is disjointed, injured, pretty much one-armless, and just completely bewildered at everything that has just transpired in the last few minutes, he is glad that the Saviors did not kill their people. And the Governor and the Croat, during this whole thing, since they got to Alexandria, that's been the only problem. But the Saviors, they actually are a nice community like the other ones, seemingly. But before Rick can stew on this further and see to the final conclusion of dealing with the Governor, Negan confronts him being right in the area, and he wants to make sure of something. He knows that he talked to Rick before Rick told him all about the Governor. But this is Negan talking to Rick just about Rick. He says that now that the Governor and the Croat, which he thought was one of his best workers, since they're both dealt with, he wants to make sure that Rick is a man of honor, man of his word, and that he's genuine about keeping his people away from his people. Like, not away, but making sure that nothing is going to happen, that he can actually not have to take half of their stuff and show authority to them. Because he doesn't want to have to do that because of the Governor and the Croat. He doesn't want to have to do that, but he will if Rick pushes him. Rick says that everything he said to Negan, he meant it. He is a man of honor. He is a man of his word. And he even thinks himself that the Sanctuary, Negan, the Saviors, they didn't kill any other people. And he is sorry that the Saviors on the road and Little Timmy and the Brigade, he's sorry that they're gone, but he thinks that the two communities can work together. They just can't take from each other. They just can't kill anyone. It was a mistake, and he's willing to fix that now that the Governor's been dealt with. Negan, although he would really like to, put Rick's group under his boot, as Rick so eloquently put it at the end of his Season 8, decides not to because of the Governor and the Croat's influence. It's definitely changed him to be more honorable towards Rick, considering who the Governor was, what he did. But before everything's said and done, a gunshot rings out, a singular one, and it aimed squarely for Negan's head, killing him right there on the spot. And this is just all right in the moment. It was the governor, clinging to life. A sword wound straight through his chest. A bullet wound on the side of his chest. A Lucille bat mark across his side. He is fueled by utter determination, anger, drive, everything and anything that you can think that made the governor is fueling him 1,000% and more. He will get his wish. He's killed Negan. Now, Rick, Michonne, and Daryl must die. He will not die. He will not falter until... But he doesn't get to finish his revelation, or even get to talk again after killing Negan, because Daryl sees to it that the governor is put down, once and for all. For Merle, for Andrea, for everybody. He shoots an arrow straight into the governor's head, killing him. And this so ends what we might have thought would be the governor, leading the sanctuary like he did in my singular part of this scenario. Yeah, well, part of that scenario happened. He killed Negan. I wasn't really going to put that past the governor, especially in the series, because I knew that it would happen regardless of the situation. But now what? What's going to happen now? The governor's gone. He was the prime source of the story. And with Negan dead, is there anything really to talk about? There is. Plenty. Because for one thing, Simon and pretty much every single savior, since like I said, the few saviors on the road and little Timmy in the brigade, they're the only ones that were killed, unless you want to count the Croat. But that was because he was teamed with the governor. That doesn't really count. Simon is officially the leader of the saviors now and appoints himself of his own accord. But he's not going to let Rick and his people go off that easy. Even though in this scenario he and the governor didn't really get along, especially with the governor making friends with the Croat, he agreed with him on the fact that, Rick and them could be trouble. So, he decides to arm himself and prepares to tell the saviors to attack and kill Rick and his people off, believing that they will be a threat. But they don't get to attack. None of them do. An army of bullets swarms from the woods, the right sector this time, and kills every single savior. It kills Simon. It kills Laura. It kills any and all saviors that are in the area. And any saviors that try to run or come out at the minute, they're killed too. But it wasn't by Beth or any of the Alexandrians, and it wasn't Rick, Michonne, or Daryl. So who was it? Gareth. Several Terminus residents, and several unidentified people with police uniforms emerge from the right sector of the woods. Rick, oh my god, he wouldn't know what to think. The man just saw a million things happen at once. And now he thinks he's going crazy. I mean, he lost an arm, was almost killed, Negan was killed, a drone came out, the governor was back. So much to take in such a short amount of time. But finally, Rick plucks up courage and charisma to ask, why is Gareth here? And who are these people with him? And most importantly, how did they find him and what do they want? And that's the question that we're going to leave off with. What does Gareth want? Who are the people besides the Terminus residents that are with him? How did they survive for so long? And is Gareth sincere in the earlier parts of my story about staying away from Rick and this was just coincidence? Or does him, the Terminus residents, and these unidentified people have plans in store for revenge against Rick and everybody there? And that's where we leave things for the moment. Definitely a lot of tension in this episode as well as the last one, with the governor finally being killed, as well as the Croat, actually being involved a lot more than any of my other stories, since we have a lot more from recent months and pretty much year, kind of, to go off with him. But with him gone now, what will this revelation of Gareth and these new people bring? Does this mean that our story just got a whole lot cooler? Or does it mean we're gearing up for an ultimate climax? Either way, this series isn't getting to be over, but it's not over. Hope you guys enjoyed this part, but the governor's story is at an end. Like and subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys in the next video.